I'll close with this. We finally see a demonstration of the supernatural. Abraham ties up Isaac, lays him on the altar, and has the knife out. Wow. What was he thinking? Oh, God, okay. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 2.5. And it was at the last moment that God stopped him. Look at verses 13 and 14. Abraham looked up, and there in a thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and he took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide." And to this day it is said, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." And again, here's that literal translation that I shared with you earlier. Abraham called the name of that place, Jehovah-Jireh, because it is said this day in the mount, Jehovah doth provide. See, God providing for you is not you giving your Christmas list to God thinking his last name is all of a sudden Claus, or rubbing a lamp and Jesus is all of a sudden this genie that says, "Hey, I'll grant you 3 wishes." Ain't never had a friend like me. That's not it. That's not it. And unfortunately, American Christianity has made it that. God will give you stuff. You know what God gave Abraham? God gave him everything he needed to perform the sacrifice on top of that mountain. Don't miss this. See, God will provide exactly what you need as you demonstrate your obedience and your faithfulness to him. See, because dare I say, there are some people in this room, you're not sure how you can do it. Just like, I'm supposed to live this thing out. I'm supposed to be a successful Christian. I'm supposed to be just this prayer warrior. I'm supposed to be this person that shares my faith. I'm supposed to be this person that's faithful to God. And I mean, I'm lucky if I'm dressed every day, let alone serving Jesus. And do you know how that's accomplished? It's accomplished because God will give you everything you need to be a successful follower of him. God will give you everything that you could possibly need to fulfill the calling that God has placed on your life. Just as God provided the ram in the thicket, the Lord will provide for you all that you need to live for him. That's Jehovah-Jireh. You think you can do this alone? You can't. You can't obey the Lord on your own power. But there's a ram in the thicket. There's a ram in the thicket. There's some people where you work that need Jesus, and you're not sure how you could ever tell people about the Lord. On your own, you can't. But there's a ram in the thicket. There's a ram in the thicket. You're not sure how you could take care of your family. You're not sure how you could provide. You know what? If you'll just be faithful to God, there's a ram in the thicket. And you might think that the time is up. And let me just say, God's never late. He misses a lot of chances to be early, but he's never late. He's never late. So you might be at that point where you're just unsure of what God has in store for you. You're not sure how you're going to get this done. You're not sure how you're going to succeed as a Christian. You're not sure how you can be a good parent or a grandparent. You're not sure how you can fulfill your responsibilities at work. I will tell you, there's a ram in the thicket. Just be faithful to God, unwavering in your obedience, and let him demonstrate to you that he is Jehovah-Jireh. He will give everything you need in order to serve him. Can you say amen today? Not one person in this place needs to be discouraged because of your walk with God. You could do it. You could do it. How do you know that? Because there's a ram in the thicket. There's a ram in the thicket. And you might be going through a tough time right now. You might be on that 3-day journey to Moriah. You keep looking at Isaac and thinking, oh, God, what are we going to do here? I don't get this. How am I going to explain this to the wife? How am I going to explain this to my family? How am I going to do this? And then at that last moment when you're not sure, then there's a ram in the thicket. He is Jehovah-Jireh. The Lord will provide. You cannot separate his provision from your faithfulness. They go together.